Hey guys, how is everybody? I'm gonna give everybody a minute to get in. I forgot to pull up my email so we can watch pledges that way too. I know it usually takes people a couple minutes to get in here. I get a bit antsy. Hi David, how are you? I wasn't sure if you'd be on today. I'm glad to see you. Are there 5 exclamation marks there? I just want to make sure. Ashley, you made it. I'm glad to see you in here. I know that some of our regulars won't be here, that there's just some personal situations going on. So might be a little bit more of a tight-knit group, but who knows? We might get some new people as well. I had bronchitis for a while, so I'm still recovering, Ashley. Fortunately, I'm on the other side of that. So it made sleeping very difficult. I kept hacking and coughing a lot. So it made sleeping very difficult. But for those of you that are new here, if we have any newbies in the room, this is just a live stream I do every couple of weeks to give everybody the opportunity to check in with where they're at with their mental health, ask any questions, just tell our stories. It's just a safe place to tell our stories and share. So just so you know, I am not a licensed mental health professional. I do have a bachelor's in forensic psychology, so I do have a psychology background, but any advice that I give is based on my experience and the experience of others that I've interacted with, whether clients or whether just personally, whether here in the community. It's just based on the experiences of myself and others. So if you are in a mental health emergency, please make sure that you're getting the professional support that you need and deserve. Thank you, David. Ashley says, I've had a sinus infection for 2 weeks. It's awful. Speedy recovery, though. That's good. I eventually had to break down and take some Mucinex, which made me vividly hallucinate and have a panic attack. So that was not fun. I'm kind of excited to tell everybody about the deed we did, the community outreach that we did this week. I'll wait till some more of our people show up, but I'm kind of excited to tell everybody about that, about the thing that we did within the last couple weeks in the community with the pledges and donations that we get from the super chat, superstition is what I think my brain was trying to say. The super chat, super sticker function here in the streams and the Patreon. So I'm pretty excited to talk about that a little bit once we get settled in. Hey, Danny, I'm happy that you made it. I feel like there's a slight lag because it's showing that there's more people in here. I feel like there's a slight lag. Thank you, David. So that's what the super chat, super sticker looks like. Thank you so much for getting the train off to a good start. We have a goal of 250 in pledges for our live stream, and then that goes to doing things in the community to help others with their mental health. So in the past, it's very common that I have helped pay for therapy for individuals here in the community, helped rescue several emotional support animals for people in the community, helped a veteran get to the beach because that was his dying wish. So he wanted to go to the beach, and we got him to California. So these are just some of the things that we do. But in the last couple of weeks, I guess I will just, I'll just spit it out. About a week and a half ago, I was coming home and I saw a man and I stopped and started to talk to him. I found out his name was Samuel, and Samuel had been through a divorce several months ago and got laid off right after his divorce. So he was immensely struggling, and while going through the process of the divorce, apparently he'd filed quite some time ago, but when he was going through the process, he lost a lot of money and then lost his job. So he was really struggling, and she had taken not only a lot of his money. I know this is going to hurt a lot of souls in here. She took his guitar. And I feel like that was just a spiteful move. As I got to talking to him, and he said that she wasn't a musician or anything, but she took his guitar and I'm guessing sold it or destroyed it out of spite. I'm not sure, but ended up taking his guitar. And he said, I really don't even care that I'm homeless, but that was my safe place. That was my haven. That was my peace. That was my mental health. He actually said that he's like, that was what kept me from spiraling toward the end of the marriage, because I guess there were some issues going on. And I sat and talked to him. We had a little lunch at Panera Bread, and I asked him, well, is there anything that you need to help get you back on your feet or to just help you be a little bit more comfortable? And he just kept coming back to the guitar. And fortunately, a couple streams ago, we had a pretty good stream. We hit our 250 goal, and we had done pretty good last time as well, when I was in Hawaii a couple weeks ago, and we did the stream from there, and we were able to get him a guitar, and that man literally broke down crying. Literally cried in the middle of Guitar Center. And it wasn't a super expensive guitar or anything. His was a kind of high-end one, but he said, I don't care. I don't care that it's not the same brand. I don't care if it's high-end or not. I care that I have this safe place again. Like you made me feel like I'm safe again, and you made me feel like I matter, like I am connected to someone, like I'm connected to something bigger. And he was convinced that I was an angel. I said, no, I'm just a human, trying to human just like you. But I thought you guys would really love the little music connection there. So that's the kind of thing that the pledges from the super chat, super sticker go to. If you're wanting to make a bigger pledge, you can look in the description of these videos, and it will have my PayPal or Venmo, and I'll get a notification of that. And that way, all of your pledge, all of your donation is going to go toward the outreach like that, because YouTube does take a little bit of a cut. Okay, YouTube takes a fairly big cut of our earnings and stuff. So I want to make sure that as much as possible goes toward being able to do that kind of outreach. You guys will notice, by the way, in the next couple of reactions, because I've already filmed them, that they were sponsored, so I had to submit them. You'll notice, by the way, that I have this Ridge. If you don't watch my soap opera, of course you don't. Ridge from The Bold and the Beautiful has kind of a gravelly, sexy voice. So I like to believe it makes me sound a little more husky, which I think David will appreciate. Steven says, hi, Amanda, how are you doing? I have a win today. I have found a very special person who's supporting me. I'm very happy for you. Snaps for you. Preemptive snaps for you. David says, I finally got my infusion 8 weeks late, feeling better, and now I'm trying to wean off my Wellbutrin. I'm really glad that you had that to hold you over, but I'm glad that you are feeling more of your normal. So preemptive snaps for you too, David. Hi, Todd. David says, I wonder how the woman is doing that looked up at you yelling out love. It's a good question. I wonder if that resonated with someone. You know, there were a lot of people down there. I think one person probably laid in bed later that night and thought about it. Hi, Spencer. David Gap says, Amanda, the angel with bear traps. There actually is an angel trap. Or that's what it's colloquially called. So I could still be the angel. There's also there's an angel like trap on Dexter in the it's my favorite season with Tom Hanks' kid. Doomsday. There's an angel trap in the Doomsday season of Dexter. Hola, Amy. 65 Galaxy LTD says, as a guitar player, I completely understand how he was feeling. Thank you for being there for him. He was such an interesting guy to talk to also. I feel like I learned a lot from that conversation, just being able to sit down. And I hear this a lot when I interact with people that are homeless or that are struggling, that they're just, I haven't had a human conversation in so long. Everybody treats me like I'm invisible. Nobody sees me. And at first I was just, you know what, let's go to Guitar Center, and because it was a couple streets away. I said, let's go to Guitar Center and just get you some jam time at least, because they'll let you play the guitars and stuff there. So let's get you some jam time. And he was elated about that. So we went to Guitar Center and we hung out for a while. And I chatted with him for a bit until he got to the guitar section. He started sitting down and playing them, and you could just tell that I was not in his world at that point. He was just a completely different dimension. So he was cycling through playing different guitars. And I'm not a musician, but even I could tell that when he found the one he wanted, his whole entire demeanor changed. I could practically see his aura glowing. But then we got to talking more, because when I asked him, I said, "Do you like that one? Is that one that suits you, fits you?" I said, "I'm not a musician, so I don't know anything about this." And he said, "Yeah, it really would. I'll have to keep my eye on this. I'll have to think about this once I get back into my home." And when I took it up to the counter, he literally started crying. And we talked for a bit after that as well. But he was crying, and I'm not talking a tear or two. I'm talking crying, rivers down his face. So it was a really beautiful moment to be able to lift somebody back up who clearly been knocked pretty far down. So that's a big part of what the community is about, is lifting each other up. Entity 303 says, "It's the guy who couldn't feel my emotions, and good news, I was actually able to cry for the first time in about 9 years. That's excellent. I'm happy that you were able to have that release." For those of you that this is your first stream, by the way, I have a snap cup, and we'll get to that later. But when people share wins like that, I like to give them snaps, and I'll explain it more when we officially do that. But I didn't want you to think I'm just snapping for no reason. Amy says, "Well, I'm losing a partner after nearly 20 years. I'm trying to see it as a challenge for personal growth." It's a really good mindset to have, Amy. I'm proud of you for being able to have that mindset of growth instead of loss. I know it's a hard mindset to have. Tyler says, "Just discovered my new favorite metal song right now, and it surely touches my heart." What song is it? Oh, Tanny says, "What song is it?" Hi, Cleo. Galaxy says, "As a vet with PTSD, I also appreciate you making sure that veterans' wish of getting to the beach happened." That one was a really special one. He'd sent some pictures and stuff. That was really special. Oh, Pittsburgh by Amity Affliction. I did a reaction to the song on the channel, I think. David says, "I always see people on the street and think they weren't always there. How many steps away am I from being in that same place?" It's easy, especially in today's economy, in today's society. It's very easy to stumble and to find yourself in a precarious position like that, where you didn't plan for it. You tried your best to be responsible and to do all of the adult things, but sometimes our plans don't work out. Sometimes a monkey wrench gets thrown in the mix, and everything can change in a heartbeat, and we can lose everything in a heartbeat. Hi, Angelic Storm. It's been a while. Amy says, "Tomorrow might be a crying day." Everybody needs a crying day sometimes. Entity says, "It did my inner child so much good, and it shows just how much my inner child was able to trust me enough to express that. because that shows just how much work my work is doing. That's the truth. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Galaxy is being able to create music is a very emotional and spiritual experience. You did more for him than just buying him a guitar. You brought him peace. I could see it in his eyes. From the time I picked him up and gave him a ride to Guitar Center, to the place where we're eating and Guitar Center, to the time I let him go back, and I felt so bad for letting him go back. That's always the hard thing, is when I help somebody, I can't house them, I can't fix everything. I'm not in a place to save all of them per se, but at least I brought light back into his eyes. At least he had a little more pep in his step. At least he knew that somebody saw him and valued him. And I think that is special. And I have to remind myself that you can't do everything, but you can do something. And that put a dropper or two in his bucket. Hi, Scott. First time. I feel like I've seen you here before, but welcome nonetheless. T. Montgomery says, being homeless sucked. Yeah, I was homeless for a while too. It was not pleasant. No, I did not check out All Effed Up by Am the Affliction. I don't think I've heard that one. You're okay, Ryan. We were just talking about what the pledges went toward this last time. We ended up getting a homeless guy a guitar. So that was what we were talking about, was how he'd gone through a divorce and he had lost everything, and the thing that he was most upset about was his guitar. So we got him a guitar. So that's what the pledges went toward. It's amazing what we can do when we band together. I don't think that, obviously I couldn't do that by myself. I couldn't have done that without you guys. So it was really amazing to be able to do that. David says, even if you can't do everything, you can still make a world of difference to one person. One of my favorite stories, one of my favorite lessons, I suppose, is the little boy that is walking along the beach, and he's picking up the starfish and throwing them back in the ocean. And this older woman comes by and says, I don't know why you're doing that. It's not like you're going to make a difference. And he picks up another one and throws it in the ocean and says, I made a difference to that one. And I think of that story often when I feel like I'm not making a difference, because my son likes to talk about a lot of the bigger YouTubers or a lot of the big causes that those YouTubers stand for. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but sometimes it does make me feel inferior, because I want to be able to do those things, and I don't want to do them for YouTube videos. I just want to do them to help people. That's why I don't typically post pictures and stuff unless I feel like it's an appropriate thing to do. In most cases, I just feel like it feels like I'm exploiting them, and I don't want to do that. So sometimes I'll be able to post a picture of someone that we've helped, but I just feel like it doesn't set right with me, so I don't do that a lot. But sometimes I'll post over in the community. But I have to remember that it doesn't really matter if you're helping one or a million. I mean, because that million is a million ones, David says, I'm happy Lord of the Lost has a new album coming out, and the first single, Sanctuary, was aired the other day. It's always exciting when your favorite bands come out with new music. Oh, we can share the good news story as well. So there's the story with the community, what we did personally, but then I also like to share a good news story just from the world, so we can remember that the news isn't always doom and gloom like they try and have us believe. There's good things happening in the world. So this specific story was from last year. But I did hear an update. So this was the first time I'd heard it. I had to look it up to get that update. But this was the first time I'd heard this story. It's pretty awesome. Unfulfilled by his successful career in business, a 47-year-old Nashville man seized an opportunity to finally pursue a lifelong passion after passing it up during his college days in favor of something more practical. Now 47, Wilt is on track to graduate in May 2025 at age 48 with a Bachelor of Architecture. I looked him up, by the way, and he did. He is still on par. Like, he still is going to graduate here in a couple of months. So I'm due in May. He's due for his graduation in May, so it's very exciting. He says, it says Nashville native TJ Wilt always had a passion for architecture dating back to 6th grade when an inspirational art teacher had the class draw floor plans. When it came time for college, Wilt pursued the expected path, earning a finance degree from Belmont University in 1999, followed by an MBA and building a career in business. Architecture remained an unfulfilled dream until the pandemic prompted a reevaluation. When the pandemic hit in 2020, it upended lives and prompted deep self-reflection for many, including Wilt. Faced with personal changes and dissatisfied with his corporate finance job, the father of 3 teenage boys decided it was time to finally chase his architectural aspirations. COVID made us all kind of take a step back and say, what's this all about? What's life about? Wilt said in a university news release. I took that opportunity. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and follow this passion that I've had forever. Discovering that his alma mater, Belmont, had just launched an architecture program, Wilt jumped at the chance to change his life. The adult degree program provided a 40% tuition discount and credit for prior coursework, so he dove in headfirst, enrolling in the fall of 2020. He found kinship with a handful of second degree seekers in his class and with other adult learners in the program like Tess. Oh my God, Tess. Tess was an angel on Touched by an Angel, which is a show I used to watch in the 90s. So I think Tess, and that's what I think of. Like Tess and Kim, who also made bold career changes in their 30s. Kim, Tess, and I were immediately lumped in together, and I was thankful for that, Wilt said. We've all had career switches, and we've all come back. For Wilt, this second act is about more than just professional fulfillment. It's about demonstrating to his sons that it's never too late to courageously pursue one's passions in life. I'm not worried about when I graduate. I'm not worried about 20 to 30 more years of work. I have no plans to stop. Wilt relished as being part of history within Belmont's first architecture graduating class, and he's grown close with his professors, including Catherine Kanan, as they shape the program's future. We are all building the future of the program together, which is a priceless experience for me. Looking ahead, Wilt is excited to explore his love of mid-century modern designs and sustainable housing, especially using shipping containers. But while he dreams of designing timeless residential projects, his recent studies have also cultivated an appreciation for commercial architecture. I don't want to build anything that's going to be torn down in the next 10 years. I want something, whatever I build, I want to have people look at it and say, oh, that's going to stay there for the next 100 or 200 years. I had gone back to school and I was in my older years. I'm being told, oh, thank you, Erin, for keeping the train going here. We're 10 of our 250 goal. And we're only halfway. We're almost halfway. We gotta get our pledges up so we can do more outreach here in the next couple weeks. But I liked this story because I also graduated way, 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 way beyond what is considered normal, what is socially expected of us. So I graduated later in life as well. And it's immensely fulfilling. And it really shifted my perspective because people tend to think that things need to happen on this timeline of when you go to college, when you get married, when you have a baby, etc. And a lot of people have that tendency to think, well, it's too late for me. It's too late to pursue anything. It's too late to do anything. And I love the stories that prove that wrong. And I'm glad to be one of those stories to prove that wrong. But I thought that was really amazing that he is still going strong, still pushing forward, decided to go back and really follow his dream. So instead of doing what the world told him, or continuing to do what the world told him was the right thing or the responsible thing. He decided to just wing it and go his own path. And I think a lot of people need to hear that story so that they don't think, oh, I missed my boat, I missed my chance, because it's never too late to correct a mistake. Randy says you're doing God's work. Thank you. Philly says, I'm 46 and considering go back to university, or I'll probably take biology. I want to eventually get a doctorate. Do it. Do it. No excuses, no half measures. Do it. Mr. Nobody says, I'm here because I've been experiencing CPTSD since 1964 and chronic back pain since 1973. Seeing if I can pick up some new management techniques at this time we're all in. It isn't helping. As far as the chronic pain, David, I'm gonna hand the mic to you on that one, because I think that you would have more insight and more practical knowledge than I would on that. So I'm going to hand the mic over to David for that one here in the chat and let him give feedback on that, because I just don't like to give feedback on things that I don't personally have experience with, or that I don't have practical advice with. So I think that David can really help you with that, since he has more experience with that. Entity says, it's so amazing to see there are still good and charitable people in the world. Thank you so much for being a light in a world of darkness. Thank you. I try. We've all got some things that we are going through. Stop living in the day. They all broke you. We all got some things that we're going through. If demons chase the brave, then they chose you. Ooh. T. McDonald. I like that. I feel like we should do our snaps, but we're at our halfway and we've only got 10 of our goal. I have the thing open over here, so I can see if there's any PayPal or Venmo, so I can add that to the total too. I'm still old school. I write everything with a pen. I don't know how to do all this young and techie stuff. If there's some way to have pledges show up on the screen, I don't know how to do that, so I just use a pen. That is my rib. Thank you very much. David says, chronic pain is challenging. I only know my experience. You will always have days that drag you down. You just need to work on putting the next foot forward. Diet and exercise are important. I have heard from a lot of people who do struggle with chronic pain that exercise is very important. I mean, it lubricates the joints. It can help at least get some mobility and keep mobility and stuff. And when you do certain yoga poses, depending, I don't know where chronic pain is, when you do certain yoga poses, it can release, it can help. So I do think that staying active is very important. As far as diet and nutrition, I mean, if you are eating the standard American diet, there's going to be inflammation in your body, and that is going to exacerbate chronic pain. So it's amazing what those lifestyle changes can do. And those are two things. If you need more help with that aspect, that's 2 of the 5 puzzle pieces of happiness in my Happiness Boost course, is teaching people how to shift their lifestyle, how to eat for better mental health, but it will also help with physical health, and how to utilize fitness, find their fitness, even if you hate the gym, even if you hate working out, even if you can't find the enthusiasm to do that or the energy or motivation to do that. It teaches you how to incorporate it in other ways, how to incorporate it into your life. Because I know that chronic pain can be exhausting. My dad was terminal, and he had been in a semi-accident before I was born, and he struggled with chronic pain. And I just saw how grueling it was for him day after day after day. And that's part of the reason that I wanted to educate people, was because I saw my dad, I saw his downfall, and he was not making good lifestyle choices. And when I found out, wow, that contributed to a lot of his suffering, mentally and physically, because he really started to decline mentally as well. And those lifestyle choices contributed a lot to his suffering. And I did end up majoring, or I ended up getting a certification as a mind body wellness practitioner with a specialty in holistic nutrition, because I was curious how those things interact, right? How our mind and our body interact. And it was very interesting. And that's part of what I utilized when I was creating that, or when I was getting out of the dark myself, because the whole course is based on my story and the steps I took to go from being on the ledge to being where I am now. And part of it was my parents and having watched them suffer. Part of it was my own journey, because when you're in a dark place, trying to go through the trial and error process of what works, what doesn't, is exhausting. So that's why I put together the course, so you don't have to do that. So you don't have to go through the trial and error that I went through of what works and what doesn't. Excuse me. David says exercise and strengthening can help by getting the muscles to keep joints in place. Yeah, but it is a fine line. If you overdo it, cause flares, of course. Yeah, you have to know your body and you have to honor your limits and pay attention. Scott says, I hate working out. I hired a trainer because I will go through hell and high water to keep an appointment. I had to hack my own personality. That's smart. That's why, like I was saying, the course is kind of that specific puzzle piece. So there's 5 different puzzle pieces, and that one's one of them. That specific puzzle piece is finding your fitness when you hate fitness, like finding ways to incorporate it into your life and finding ways to hack your own personality to be able to get the benefits of that. Okay. Well, let's do our wins. Hopefully we get some more pledges during the wins so we can hit our goal. I'd really like to do some more outreach and stuff here in the next few weeks. I will be taking probably May off, so there will not be streams in May unless I'm just feeling feisty, because that's when Aurora's due. So I will not be doing streams. I probably will not be posting videos unless I just find a boost of energy to film a bunch of stuff in advance so that I have some things to release in May. But that is not my plan currently. So I'm really wanting to be able to get our pledges up and stuff so we can still do acts of kindness between now and then. Jay says, I'm here for some therapy. Well, feel free to tell us your story and we can certainly give feedback. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not a therapist, but I can give insights and people here in the community can give their insights. And if nothing else, we can just listen and hold space for your story. Right now, we are going to share the community wins. So when I was snapping for people's wins, that's what it was about. So this is inspired by the movie Legally Blonde 2, where they just share warm fuzzies with each other. I post a few days before the streams in the community so people can post their wins or the wins of others here in the community. Just the little mental health things. Doesn't have to be anything extravagant, just something that you did that boosted your mental health. But it comes with a song, so snap cup time, gather ye round, friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. All right, so let's read off our wins, our community wins. RX Doc says, I decided to start tattooing myself a couple weeks ago. I've done 4 now in a couple of weeks. Wow, that's brave. And I can see improvement with each one. I'm still far from good at it, but I've got a lot of skin to practice on. I love that you found something that works for you, and I hope that helps you continue to process or continue to express yourself in the way you want. So kudos to you for expressing yourself in the way that you feel is most authentic. Snaps for RX Doc. T. Montgomery says, reconnect with my old therapist. Strangely enough, out of the blue, her office called me. Fingers crossed. I've been trying to self-heal for almost a year now without therapy. Sometimes it's possible. Sometimes we can get there, and sometimes we need a little help. And be that therapy, be that the course, be that lifestyle changes, be that, just having a community to be part of, or be that all those things together. If you try and something doesn't work, you got to try something else, or try asking for help, or you can always keep trying. So big snaps to you for trying something else. Erin says double because I know that was hard with a sore voice. Thank you. So we're up to 20 of our 250 goal. I believe we can do it. We're off to a slow start, but I believe we can do it. Thank you very much for hedging for my voice here. Ashley, are you still in here? Ashley says, I got the courage to ask a girl out. Even though she declined, I'm still proud of myself for getting out of my comfort zone and doing something like that. It's tough being different in today's world, but I'm learning how to adapt one day at a time. First and foremost, we're all different, my love. But big snaps to you. I love that you see the win in it. A lot of people would say, oh, I did this and I got rejected. But I always say rejection is a numbers game. So what really matters is you keep trying, and that you're putting yourself out there, that you do get out of your comfort zone, because change can't happen in your comfort zone. And you can't meet your goals if you're constantly trying to stay comfortable and avoid any kind of conflict and avoid any kind of rejection or anxiety. You really just can't grow like that. And I don't believe that you can be happy when you're just constantly trying to avoid everything uncomfortable, because sometimes you have to go through those uncomfortable things to get to the better things. So I'm very proud of you, not only for doing that, but for seeing this as a win, that you saw your effort as a win. So I'm very proud of you. And I hope that the yes is coming. Remember, what a no is always one closer to the yes. So big snaps to you. Kevin Perry says, I'm thinking about going back to college. I hope Kevin heard our story earlier about the 47-year-old gentleman who went back to college. Like I said, I went back to college and I just got my degree. I would show you my degree, but it has my middle name on it, and we're not going there. I have my bachelor's over here that I just got in December of 2024. I love that you're thinking about it. That's the first step, that it's in your brain, it's on your radar. Now go sign up for classes. I'm gonna peer pressure you. If that's what you think is right, don't let yourself get in your own way. Don't be your own Eskimo and talk yourself out of it. So go back to college. But good job for thinking about it. Good job for allowing that to hold space in your mind right now. Doc Hogan says, I woke up. Again, it hasn't beaten me yet. And if it hasn't won yet, it never can or will. That's absolutely right. See, that's the one time I don't like to say yet. Usually I think of yet as a magic word where it's, I haven't gotten a partner yet, So back here, Ashley was talking about how she got turned down. So it's, you didn't get a yes yet. So usually I like the word yet, but here, no, it hasn't beaten you and it's not going to. And Doc Hogan also shared, how I know that I'll prosper? Because I stand here beside you today, from Ren. That's a lyric from Ren. I don't know what song that's from. That's a lyric from Ren. Man, now I'm craving to dive back into some Ren. But big snaps to you. It's not going to beat you. It didn't win. It's not going to win tomorrow. Snaps to you for waking up. Animal 2473 says, my most recent win is that I finally swallowed my pride and put together a GoFundMe page to help me financially for the inspirational memoir book I'm writing. I hope to do guest speaking events in an effort to share my challenges through one of the most difficult times in my life to hopefully inspire others to make it through their own challenging moments. I love it. I love that you are taking action, that you're turning your tragic backstory into the superhero story, that you are acknowledging it, that you're talking about it, that you're sharing your story, you're using that to help other people. So big snaps to you. And for anybody interested, if you go to the community page for the wins for this week, that GoFundMe page is linked there. So if you are interested in supporting that venture, please make sure to go over there and do that. Jake Smith says, my birthday is next Saturday. I'm having a day out with Kim. Love it. Happy early birthday. I'm glad you get time with Kim. I hope you have something fabulous planned. My birthday is coming up here in a couple weeks, and it's kind of a milestone. It's a big milestone, huge, huge milestone. And I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I feel like I should probably start planning that a bit. Thumb Punch says, I turned 38 on St. Patrick's Day. No one wished me happy birthday. Well, that just flipped script. No one wished me happy birthday. Happy birthday. Guys, can we get happy birthdays for Thumb Punch in here, please? The more broken, older me would have spiraled, but now it only hurts a little. I call that progress. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of you too. That is one of those things that, yeah, it hurts like hell when people don't show up for you or don't acknowledge those big things in your life that really mean a lot to you. It can really hurt. And I'm very proud of you for not spiraling. And I like that, again, you saw your win. It's not, oh, I'm sorry. It's not that it's, I felt perfect. I didn't hurt at all. You're acknowledging the progress. And it's very important in our journeys that we acknowledge progress. And that's why we do the wins, is so we can acknowledge, hey, I moved forward, and we really need to celebrate. We're going to celebrate. Email me, we're going to celebrate. So I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. I'm going to assume your name is not Thumb Punch. I'm going to want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. So if you email me, I'll make sure that you get a special birthday gift, because we see you and we love you here in the community. So you're getting happy birthdays over here in the chat. Scott Clark says, I was laid off a couple of weeks ago. I haven't given up applying and trying to find a new job. I'm so proud of you for not giving up, and that you're continuing to move forward and continuing to try, continuing to take action. I know that it can be very, very upsetting, when you lose that stability, when you lose that familiarity. It can be very upsetting. So I'm very proud of you for trying to continue moving on. Hello, Eugene. How are you? I'm happy that you can make it. One more win. Iron City TT says, I got up today and got dressed, and now I'm having lunch since I missed breakfast. I took my medicine. I'm starting to feel a bit human. I'm hopeful tomorrow is better. Tomorrow will absolutely be better. Plan a win. That's my advice. Plan a win for tomorrow, even if it's a little one. I'm very proud of you, though, for getting up and getting dressed and having lunch, doing those things, even though it sounds like you probably didn't feel like it. You probably didn't want to, that you made it a point to take care of yourself and get through that. So it's good when you start feeling the humanity come back in yourself and in your life. So big snaps to you for that. David says, for vegan treats to binge B&B with Aurora when she arrives. She has a lot to catch up on. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the love and support. And yes, I will get some vegan treats. I feel like I'm probably just not going to watch my show for a bit. B&B Star Bold and the Beautiful, my soap opera that I watch. I'm probably just not going to watch it for a bit. So that way, when she arrives, when I'm resting and I'm on bed rest and everything, I can watch. I don't know. She can listen. I don't want to introduce her to the TV too early. I think I'm going to wait till they suggest 2. I'm waiting till at least 18 months to introduce her to TV and stuff. That doesn't mean she can't listen. That doesn't mean I can't watch it while she's sleeping. Thank you, David. I love you. Oh gosh, Eugene says that he almost wasn't here. Almost didn't spend the last week in the hospital for heart failure. I hope that you're okay. That's terrifying. Turned out to be a false alarm. My AFib was acting up along with me having pneumonia. I'm glad it was a false alarm. I hope that you were able to manage the pneumonia and stuff. I actually wound up in the hospital in Hawaii, and they I'm going to take you down a little journey here. I'm going to tell you a little story here. So we were at the beach. Aaron and I were at the beach. For those of you who don't know, I'm pregnant. I'm 8 months pregnant right now. And Aaron and I were at the beach in Hawaii for our baby moon. We had been playing around and everything. Took 45 minutes to get sand out of all these places that you just don't want to get sand. 45 minutes to get the sand out. And we left, finally, like, dried off and everything, changed. So we're in clean, dry, fresh clothes. And wound up, had to go to the bathroom because I'm pregnant and I have to be every 15 seconds right now. So went to the bathroom, tried to go to the bathroom, found a Jack in the Box, which this is its own story. That just felt really glitchy and weird because it was boarded up, but the lights were on, but nobody was inside. But it looked like the drive-thru was open. I don't know what was going on with that place. I feel like it was just a glitch in the Matrix, but I ended up going pee behind the Jack in the Box because I couldn't hold it. And then we are headed, we're going to go have dinner and get to the airport, right? Because we only have a few hours before we have to fly out. And as we're driving, probably 15 minutes after I go to the bathroom, I think I went to reach for my phone or something, and I looked down and I realized my dress is completely soaked, and I had changed my clothes and everything. My dress is completely soaked. So I call my doula, and I said, is this what I think it is? What's going on? And she said, get to a hospital immediately, right now. Go to a hospital right now. She called the midwife. The midwife also said, yeah, do not pass go, do not collect $200. So I ended up having to rush to the hospital because she said, if you go into labor on the plane, she's not going to make it. She'll make it if you're in a hospital. She's not going to make it if you're on the plane. So I'm trying really hard to use all my skills. That's my win, is I use my skills to not completely freak out and lose it because I am going to be using hypnobirthing. We're going to be in a birth center. That's our plan. So we don't plan on going to a hospital. And so I was using all these techniques and stuff to stay calm, and they ran a bunch of tests and found out that she wasn't coming, that it was a false alarm. So I also had my own hospital visit false alarm in the last couple of weeks. And fortunately, everything is good, and she will still be coming in May. May 12th is the due date. Of course, there's a little wiggle room there, but she needs to still come in May. I keep telling her that. You stay in there till May, okay? You can come on May 1st, preferably May 4th, because that's Lance of Instinct's birthday. So I just keep telling her to stay in there for May, because you need the in-sync energy, right? Hi, Deadpool Snipes. That's my exciting journey of the last couple of weeks. So we're at 50 of our goal. David says hypnobirthing sounds like a very unique disco. Indeed. Well, it'll be some kind of dance, that's for sure. You just haven't had Jack in the Box in over 20 years. Yeah, I think I was a teenager last time I had Jack in the Box. And I am not a teenager now. Thanks, Eugene. Eugene says, here's up to false alarm. Cheers. Cheers is my imaginary apple juice. So yeah, it's been a very rocky pregnancy. I swear it's just scare after scare. She's gonna like to prank us. I just know it. She's gonna be a little Ashton Kutcher that's punking everyone all the time. And she says, this community is so incredible. We've all gone through hell with demons on our backs and burned all them down. And we were so strong that we didn't let them drag us 6 feet deep. Absolutely. Cheers to that too. Snaps to that too. I'll give snaps to that one. So, we have about another 10 minutes here. We've done our snaps. We've done our story. We shared about Samuel. Deadpool says get some echinacea and load up on vitamin C and D3. I've definitely been loading up on vitamins. Thank you. I'm usually a very holistic person when it comes to things, but I did wind up having to take some Mucinex and antibiotics. Thanks, Entity. I don't really know what to say right now. I don't. Oh, here, Eugene says, I have a win. I was able to use a CPAP without panicking finally. I've never used a CPAP. I know people that do. Is there something about the sound or the way it's on your face? I'm very happy for you, Snaps, that you were able to do that if it's going to help you. But I'm curious what part of it gave you anxiety. I'd just like to know for my own purposes. Glad I could help, Entity. Eugene says sets off childhood trauma. Okay, that makes sense. I won't pry. David says, I don't like puns about chairs. They just don't sit well with me. David and his dad jokes. $65 Galaxy says, had to take a phone call for those with chronic pain. I've had 2 spinal fusions. A TENS unit has helped me tremendously on bad days. Get a good one. I can post the one I have if needed. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. Thank you. Oh, wow. Eugene says somebody tried to suffocate him when he was 5. I am so sorry that happened to you. I can't imagine how terrifying that was. I actually stopped breathing when I was 5, but it wasn't caused by someone else. I don't remember what happened, but I hope that you've been able to work on healing that inner child. David says, I never wanted to believe my dad was stealing from his job as a road worker, but when I got home, all the signs were there. Thanks, my dude. Deadpool says, have you tried baking soda in a hot bath? Oh, the Amanda is triggered. Unfortunately, I can't take a hot bath right now, and I am so sad because I miss them almost as much as I miss some other things. My glass of red wine in the evenings, some evenings. Yeah, I can't take a hot bath right now because there's actually some stuff that Bath and Body Works used to sell. Bath and Body Works doesn't sell this brand anymore, but it's called CO Bigelow Cold and Flu Soak. I swear I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but I've been using that stuff for 20 years off and on, and that stuff has a mix of essential oils and stuff, and other things that really help not only open up the sinuses, but I swear if you have a cold, it will detox you. And I've taken those baths before and felt better literally within a couple of hours after taking them. So you just put some of it in your hot bath water. We're sitting here talking about baths, and I just want to take a bath. Soon I will get back to my bath. Whew. She's definitely getting heavy, that's for sure. Let's see where we're at. 30, 40, so we're at 60. So we're at 60 out of our 250 goal. A few minutes left. Few minutes left. I'm not aching back. That's David saying, I finally know why they call me a grown-up. I groan every time I get up. Yeah. Yeah, me too right now. Me too right now, friend. Where it takes me, it's considered an effort to get up at the moment. Thank you for the hugs, Eugene. Morgan was up here and she ditched me. So she's actually doing really well. She's been a lot more active. I'm seeing more of her personality coming through. So Morgan's a rescue dog that we got. For those of you that didn't know, she's a little Chihuahua that literally just kind of fell in our laps. But she's really taken to sunbathing. So at first, when we first got her, she wouldn't really eat. She wouldn't really move. She had just resigned inside of herself. She just given up, and she's in a lot of pain. Now I'm seeing she loves to sunbathe. She's started hopping. She didn't do that before. So she'll start hopping when she sees you. She'll kind of hop run towards you. Very much like Ricky used to. So Ricky is a dog that I used to sit all the time, and he showed up on some of the streams, made an appearance. But she's so much better now. I can see her true colors. I can see her color coming back, and it is so unbelievably beautiful. Kevin says, hey, I don't usually comment, but I thought I needed to. I've recently been diagnosed with front temporal dementia. I just wanted to tell you how much of a great help and comfort you are. Thank you so much. I know that diagnoses like that can seem very scary. So I hope that you have the support. I hope that they are going over options and stuff with you on how to manage it, how to treat it. Thank you very much for letting me know that. And I'm humbled to be able to be a comfort to you while you're going through this transition. Keep us updated. So I guess it's pretty much time to ride off into the sunset. I appreciate all of you guys being here. I won't see you again, right? I won't see you again before my birthday. So my birthday is April 1st. So I won't see you guys again before my birthday. It's kind of strange to think about. I'll only have a couple more streams before she's here. And of course, I'm going to have to introduce her to everyone. I will have to show her off like Rafiki does with Simba in the beginning of The Lion King. The actual Lion King, none of these remakes. Thanks, Entity. It breaks my heart to see these stories, to hear these stories of people who, family members or people close to them, hurt them so desperately, especially at a young, impressionable age. I just don't understand at all. Well, I'm going to log off here. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today on this stream, for holding space for everyone here in the community. If you guys do want to make a pledge after the fact, like I said, the Venmo and PayPal is in the video description, and always I will post over in the community if we do happen to hit our pledge goal. So our pledge goal was 250 and we ended up getting 60 of that. So if we do hit that 250 goal, pledge that, or I'll post that over on the community page. Other than that, maybe I'll pop in for a birthday nod and a wink. But thank you guys so much for the love and support, and I will see you soon.